Nation. Welcome back to another episode of the Scarlet and Cream Husker podcast. I'm your host, Mr. B, Brian Knutson. With me, as always, Mr. KC, Kenny Cheatham, former Husker wide receiver. Today's special guest, everybody, former Husker offensive lineman, Mr. Dan Waldrop. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm doing good, man. It's been 17 years since I've been back to Lincoln, and I'm doing amazing. I'm loving it. I was so super excited about just this whole weekend and getting with people that I haven't seen for a while.
Yep, right. I saw your posts on Facebook, man. Awesome picture you took at Memorial Stadium at night. I believe it was Friday night, man. That was amazing picture. And
I sat there that night, and it was Thursday. It was Thursday night.
Oh.
And I just started reminiscing with Carson Schott. He was a walk-on during my time, and he was just walking around and showing me what was new about Memorial Stadium and things of that nature. And then I was like, man, I remember right here, blocking the guy here, and but I don't think he wanted me to. I wasted his time, but I just had to reminisce about man, it was a joy to be a part of the program and block for so many great quarterbacks and learn from so many great people. I saw so many former players that I was like, wow, you just get there and you immediately recognize those guys. You just have to give them a big ol' hug.
So I have a question. For you. How did you feel?
Don't put me in a bad position.
No, how did you feel? How did you feel seeing that stadium the way it is now as compared to when you were there?
I was walking around the stadium. I was like, this is amazing. But I got the same energy I had when I was playing there. So the energy it was just me and him walking around the stadium, but I felt the energy. I felt the excitement. I was like, this stadium is still the same to me. This is home to me. Even though they didn't let me in that night, I was like, okay, it's been a while. I'm not going to get mad about that. So I felt that energy and that rush. I felt jealous that I wasn't in the huddle yesterday. I felt jealous that I couldn't be a part of that team yesterday. I felt jealous that the right tackle, I don't know his name, but I wanted to be in that guy's position, right? I wanted to be there. I was jealous, and I was like, man, I'm way on the other side of these guys. Nobody even cares who I am, but I want to be part of that so bad. I could taste it. Game day smelled the same. The smells of Memorial Stadium still existed. Everything was absolutely amazing. It all came back to me. Some of the amazing things. I didn't get to see the whole stadium in its entirety.
Okay, that's what I was talking about, because it's something to see.
Right. I couldn't get inside that night. And Friday, I was just kind of running around Lincoln, seeing the new Lincoln. People were like, you go to the Cube yet? I was like, what's the Cube? So we went to the Cube and the rail yard and things like that. And I was like, okay.
It's crazy. It's crazy, right?
I'm feeling Lincoln. Yeah, for sure.
Much different than when we were there. Of course, when I was there, and then when you guys got there after me. But I mean, just the exterior of the stadium, when you go out and you see the front facing west, is totally different. Inside of it, the way it goes up from the seating, it's to me the first one I went, because my first game was Michigan State. That was my first game in Lincoln since my senior year in
2018,
98, 99. And
okay,
I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like we were already buttholes when we played, but we were cool buttholes. But if we had that and the stuff that they had,
right,
man, look, you couldn't have told us nothing.
No,
I mean it's just the locker room, the seating capacity. I mean, because you think about it, when we were there, you look over old, what's that? The north side of the stadium where they have all that stuff. Now, hell, you saw the Nebraska sign and that was it. You can see the helicopter and whatever going in the back. Now they have all this stuff. And then on the west side, they added those layers. I used to go and sit at lunch and up there with sports information. Then we used to go by the old tutoring. I'd go up the stairs in the back, and I would be in there chilling with the not sports information, but the media people. I would be in there looking at the cubes for the Husker vision and how you work this and how you work that. And they're like, you're going to take our jobs 20 years from now. But I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. I mean, it blew my mind.
there's a part of me. It's like, okay, I'm a little jealous about this. These guys got everything, right? But also, you got to remember that the previous players, previous to me, previous to you, we helped build that and establish that. So they don't care because at the point in time, I didn't care when I got the players' locker room to look back on the other players. But now that I'm a old school player, it's like, okay, now I can look as like, we help get these kids to where they're at, and they need to keep pushing to get the next generation of Huskers to the next point, to where they can get, okay, so what do they need and what does it need? That's the sacrifice we made. I didn't care. Remember the North locker room? That was insane. When I got put in there my freshman year, I was like, my high school locker room is better than this. But but I learned to appreciate that. And when I moved in the varsity locker room, I was like, okay, this is good. And I was legit content with what I was given. I mean, if you look at it, we didn't have that technology back in the days. We had what we had. So if you look at what we had during those days, we had the best of the best, right? So now they get the best of the best. It's a little shinier. It's a little bit more colorful. LED lights, flashy. Okay, we get it. But I know we had the best of the best and what was provided to us. And I'm thankful for the guys previous to me for what they built. And I'm just thankful that I even got a chance to come out here.
Right.
Hey, Dan, you talked about it. You said, during the Ohio State game, you were jealous. You wanted to be in there. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. We could have used you in there, man. What were you seeing? What is up with this O-line during this game?
I'm going to preface this with this for you guys. I gave up sports a long time ago, watching sports, even watching Husker football. And I'm going to give this to you because this is just me. I'm old enough to say, hey, I tell almost everybody this when I talk to them. It's like, I was a little bitter when I left, right? Wow. I was a little bitter when I left because we had that change when Solis got fired. Pelini took over for the bowl game, and then the whole Steve Peterson thing. So we all understand that. So that was a little bitter when I left. So although I still supported when they came out to USC, I was bragging. I was like, we're about to beat USC and stuff like that. We get beat because I'm back in Los Angeles now. We get beat by USC. I go to the UCLA game back at the Rose Bowl, right when Team Magic was playing. I was like, we'll beat UCLA. They're absolute trash. No, we lose there. I was like, I'm getting upset now. But I was a little bitter when I left. But as you grow older, you're like, it is what it is. So watching the line yesterday, there for multiple things we could have won. To be honest, I thought we could have won that game.
Yeah.
To be honest, we make both those field goals. We make that first field goal, and momentum stays with us.
Yeah.
Here's Kenny the emoji.
We're at home. And Kenny, I don't know about you, but we were on, like, our kickers, we got on the sidelines. You only got one job to do. And you better do it right. You only got one job to do. And like, I think back to my previous kickers. We had really good kickers. We had Josh Brown. Let me go special teams. Sorry, I'm all over the place for you guys.
Oh, go ahead.
We had was it?
Let it go. Let it all out.
We had Kyle Larson. I don't know. And then like I'm standing, like I'm getting irritated because there's those special teams mistakes, right? And I'm reminiscing when I was playing for Cotton my senior year. And I remember complaining, like, I'm starting. Why am I on the field goal team? But now that I think about it, it's like that was one extra play somebody else didn't get, but I got it, right? So I was standing by the kicker on the sidelines.
Contreras.
It was Contreras or whoever's practicing kicking, and he was like kicking it. It was like near my face, and like I'm being super bitter about it, and I'm like, why are you even kicking? You're not making field goals. And I'm like so upset with this kid, and I got it. And then I was like, I'm so mad at this kid in my head. I'm saying this, right? But I also recognize that this is a kid, and people make mistakes.
Yeah,
I understand. I want the Huskers to go undefeated forever, like literally forever. Yep. And I love this team with all my heart, especially coming back after 17 years. And people coming up to me and like, Dan, I remember you. That feels good after you've been in Los Angeles for a while and nobody recognized you. I got recognized every once in a while in some areas of the city, but it feels good. Like, yeah, it feels good when the play, like Abdul Muhammad came to me yesterday.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've been trying to get a hold of you since you played. I go, man, that was like 20 years ago. And he's like, I just wanted to take a picture with you. Someone of that caliber and someone that good, right? To come up to you and say, I've been wanting to see you forever. And let me, to go back to the offense line, I was a little disappointed that they weren't giving Adrian time. But I don't have enough of watching their film and enough education to make a judgment on one game for that whole line. I like that center.
As a fan, we can make that judgment. We've been watching week after week. And I brought this up to a buddy of mine, and let me see if either one of you agree with me here. When Frost made that shakeup against Northwestern on the offensive line, and he put in the true freshman Prohaska.
Okay, now
they were amazing. They were
right.
amazing.
What I've heard of him is he's amazing. That kid's amazing. This is what I've heard.
Seemed like it all worked, but then he got hurt the very next game.
Yep.
He's out for the rest of the season. Frost has to go back to the original formula, and pardon my language, we're back to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian's looking for time.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about that is, like, I believe it's a lot to deal with the mentality of the kids, and then that freshman getting hurt and you getting your spot back. Like Tenniper would say, you better be fighting tooth and nail to keep your spot. You better be like a biting sow. Tenniper would tell us. When he told me that the first time when I was young, I was like, "What's a sow? I'm coming from Los Angeles, right? Why is it biting me?" And then like the guys from Nebraska are like, well, it's a mother pig, and they're extremely vicious when they're people play their kids.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I get it now. But I think that it has a lot to do with mentality and mental toughness. Those kids are huge. That right tackle is way bigger than I was. It comes to just mental. It's the physicality. I didn't hear many pads hitting at the line, so I was like, what's going on? We need to be smashing these guys in the mouth. That's just my personal opinion. I like that. Like the right tackle on the right side, there's these small little D linemen on that side. I was like, how come we're not punching that kid in the mouth to give that right tackle the confidence so that he's eating. Like, I was on the sidelines, I was like, let these boys eat for a minute. Take it 60 yards all runs and make them stop you on the run. That's me personally, because that's how we did it.
Yeah, Kenny, what do you think? Was it a matter of the shakeup that made the line so good, and now back to it? It's kind of shaky again. What do you think?
You know what? I am so happy Dan is on here right now, because he has said, as you saw by my reactions, every single thing that I have been saying since week
validation
1, which lets you know the mentality of where we're coming from in regards to when we're speaking about their play.
Yep.
I've said it about the O-line. I spoke about the nastiness that I felt they needed to have from what I was used to seeing. You have to remember, I came in 94 with the pipeline. I came in with those guys, Uyghur.
You came in with the dogs.
I came in with
the boys.
So I played with those dudes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played with the 95 guys who were the backup to those dudes. I come in, I'm still there as a senior with a young Dominic, who I tell Coach Solich, play this dude. If we need to have a chance, he needs to play. I go in the office and say, stop putting him in half the time. He needs to play. Like right now, Kenny, you're right. He said, you're right. This dude is running up the stairs every practice because he's nasty.
Yep.
And my senior year, everyone knows, this dude was running up the stairs.
I went up the stairs because of him too.
It was something else. And everyone knows in 98, 99, the strength of our offense during that year, because that was when Bobby was a quarterback, then he got hurt, and then Monty took over, then he got hurt, and then Crouch ended up taking over. The strength of our offense was the receiving corps. We were all back. The O-line was new, pretty much. They were, we had some that played, but we lost a lot. And that was, for the first time, our weakest link in a while in Nebraska. This guy was the one I said, hey, let's go. This dude's running downfield, hitting people 20, 30 yards. He was a trip. He was hilarious. We would laugh at him every practice. Like, there he goes. Dominic, here goes Dominic. And he just put his head down and run up the stadium with his head shaking. Dan knows he would be.
I got set up the stairs because of him, but I was going to run with him because I really admire Dominic. He took me in when I was a freshman, and I was like, I love this guy.
Yeah, and that's what we did to him. You know what I mean? So I understand how he's looking at it, and he's going, they need to be nasty, because that's what they were taught. Coach Young and Coach Tennifer was on those dudes' ass.
He was on mine too. I'm not gonna lie, he was on mine too.
He was on the lineman's ass about. They embraced that. They embraced them being vicious. They love that. These guys are coach legends. And so when they got to these guys need to understand that those two guys coach legends. And what they were telling them was the right way to do it. And that's how they want to play. And to be great, that's what you have to do. So
first of all, those coaches were legends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you look at that and you say, yeah, they know what they're talking about. So when you see that, like you said, and you don't see because I've always said all year, I don't see the push off the ball to where they're engaging with them and dominating. I don't see it. And when you're not giving him time, and with that O-line shakeup, when the O-line shakeup happened because of all the penalties, and it was like, Scott was like, enough, and you guys need to play for your spots, and he put those guys in, we got better. Once he got hurt, we kind of reverted back to not getting as much time as we need to in the pocket, not being as much aggressive. Because when he was in there, we started moving better. Still wasn't what we would like as traditional fans and former players.
But Adrian had time.
Yeah, but like I said, those dudes are huge. There's no reason for them not to be vicious.
I'm walking out. They're walking the line. I was like,
they're like 6'7", 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". They're huge.
Yeah, Prohaska, he's 6'9".
And just think the nastiest one is the center who was a recruited as a tight end.
I like him.
Jurgens is good.
They were like, keep an eye on him. Like, I was there with my buddies, and they were like, it's the center, watch him. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch him.
And he's the converted one. Think about that. He has that attitude, and he's the converted one.
He was a tight end?
Yep.
Yeah.
He got demoted? That's right.
He was a tight end. Yeah, that was a tight end. That was the one that they switched over.
Yep.
To center.
Yeah, he's got a good motor, and he's got effort. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, he got a couple penalties in the Oklahoma game for blocking for too long.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that. That's the dumbest penalty. All right, we got the negative crap out of the way. Dan, thank you. You already hit on the special teams. We talked about the O-line. We've talked about the offense. They did great. Once again, though, just not enough. Let's finish this on a positive note and talk about the greatest part of that game. What do you think it was? It was the black shirts. I mean, wow. You want to talk about a squad that took 2 weeks off, unfortunately, against Minnesota and Purdue. And we got that ran out of the way, Kenny. Hallelujah. But my God, and somebody like, JoJo Doman, Luke Reimer, Miles Farmer earned his black shirt this week. I believe he earned it Thursday or Friday. He's out there making interceptions, knocking down passes. They were testing him, and he answered the call.
Shout out to that kid, because those guys balled out.
Yes.
I really enjoyed watching the black shirts play. I was like, man, these guys are putting on a show against the number 5 team.
Yes, and number one offense in the nation.
This is the number 5 team, number 1 offense in the nation. And I'm like, they're making these guys look like, KU back in the day. I mean, like, I was starting to put things into perspective with, like, okay, you put the 0-1 team of us out there, and we're smacking Ohio State easy 40. You know? But like watching the defense today, I was really excited for the future. If these boys keep playing like that and giving the offense more chances and giving the offense to, okay, we're going to make mistakes, but giving them more time on the field and play time against these big teams, they're going to get better. They're going to want to score. They're going to want to win these games. Put the ball back in the hands and, be confident when you get that ball. We're going to march it down the field, jam it down their throats, and score a touchdown. This is my home. You don't belong here. Ohio State doesn't belong here. This is not for you to come running out like you own Lincoln. This is not your house.
Yes.
This is something totally different. And the black shirts showed up yesterday, and they kept us in this game. Now I know the wind was knocked out of them a couple times after those missed field goals and the bad punt, but they stood their ground when on the short side of the field. I was like, oh, these guys are balling out. Keep it up, because I'm excited now. That was all. I was like jumping up and down. I was like, let's go.
Kid, he is just loving this. He is loving every second of it. What'd you see, Kenny?
The kicking game.
Pristo, yep. 13-yard punt. Yeah.
In third person, Kenny has said that the kicking game and the failures in the kicking game eventually was going to what? Break the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And mentally, and tire them out mentally because of how well they've been playing all year. Then, like I said, what you're doing is just repeating what I've been saying. Yeah, and a lot of people underestimate the kicking game of how important it is. And they're like, okay, he just missed a kick, and like I said, I see the tweets. I said, the kickers. Dan said it. I've said it. Got one job, homeboy. I'm looking at the TV. Listen, this is how infuriated I was. I'm looking at the TV. And I'm watching it because I said I wasn't going to watch it, but I was up early. And they said, the transfer Ohio State kicker who's come in, and he came in from whatever school and blah, 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 blah. And he hasn't missed a field goal or an extra punt. Or a field goal or an extra point attempt.
Yep.
And I said, no, that can't be. I grabbed the phone here. He hasn't missed.
No.
So after the game, let me refresh that. Ohio State newspaper, the coach. Our kicker is a weapon for us.
And that's exactly what
these are weapons for teams. We should be able, because there's decisions that to be made. Will we go for it on this fourth down, or will we run this play? Because we don't trust you kicking and making it.
Yep.
All that factors
so
into the
much.
Game. People try to go over and gloss over it like it's not a factor. And it's let's say like a line. Dan, if the line isn't getting the push and it's 4th and 1, do you think a coach is going to go for it?
He's calling you off the field and you're upset about it.
People need to really understand how I've said every aspect of football is important. It's not just this part. It's the entire aspect. Okay, so let us kick this ball. There's a reason Scott played for that one play to get the field goal that was missed. There's a reason we did that versus Minnesota. We went for it rather than kick the field goal because you haven't been making them. Yeah. That affects coaching decisions. That affects team morale. Here we go again, and you missed the kick.
Yeah, I'm not talking to that kicker for at least a week. I'm not talking to you until you help us win a game, right, or something like that. Like you're being sent to the corner of the locker room. You stay there, and you just be a kicker, and nobody's gonna talk to you till the next week.
Do your kicker things. That's it.
Yeah, you got one job. I remember watching those guys. It's like 5 degrees outside. Coach Solich and Tenenberg's got us going one-on-one drills, smashing each other. These dudes are kicking balls over each other and drinking hot chocolate. No, you have no excuse. You have no excuse. You have no excuse.
Yeah, the most non-football football players on earth.
They are. They're luxuriating. But I also had really good kickers on our team. We had Josh Brown.
Yeah,
we had
they
Kyle
did their
Larson.
job.
We had like unbelievable kickers. So when you say that, and I'm talking to the guys on the sideline, I was like, I didn't realize that special teams would come in so close for this game because it didn't matter where we were kicking from. We're hitting our field goals.
You believe
this
in him.
guy? Yeah, this guy. I'm like, man, God help this man out. Give us some wind behind him or something.
But just think, he replaced the one that's been missing all year.
Yeah.
That guy replaced the one that's been missing all year.
You ever think maybe that's Frost telling us, hey, you guys wanted us to put in the backup kicker? There it is.
No, I think that's him finally breaking
You've
with
got to try it.
Coach's disappointment. Let me try something else.
Yeah.
Let me try someone else.
I would hope that Frost would not like bow down to the suggestions of the quarterbacks in the stands. That I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
No.
Armchair. Funny story on the side. My friends were here, and his brother. They're all huge Husker fans, and I never met his brother, but his brother used to talk smack about me while I was playing. So after the game, I just lit into him. I go, "Hey, do you have something to say about me and how I played?" I was just lighting into him yesterday. I was like, "You're armchair quarterback." I go, "You know, I flew from Los Angeles to play for you, to go on the TV for you." But I was just messing with the guy. But I was going hard. I was like, and then I pulled up, "Hey, my name's on the wall on the north end. Is that good enough for you? Is that good enough for you?" Like, just having being good hearted and busting the guy's chops because like, and I think it's harder for kids nowadays because of social media. It's easier to get attacked. Right, we had the Daily Nebraskan and the other thing. Yeah. I think it's easier for those kids to get attacked, and that's where I believe it's the mental game.
Yep.
Because when you're berated and you're going on your social media and Twitter, and let's just put the example of the Ovitt's line: "You're terrible, you're terrible, you're terrible," and there's nothing encouraging. There has to be a switch where you turn off and say, "Hey, your opinion of me doesn't matter. I'm going to get better. And I'm the one playing on this field." But I know that it affects their mental game, right? Because it's just so much attacking them. It's like you can't get away. I think sometimes it's like these guys need, they need to work here too. They need to have somebody here too, not just physical.
Sports.
The mental game is huge. It's huge. Like Kenneper was all about that. He's like, if you're not nasty, if you're not understanding this game, you're not going to play. If you don't understand what we're going out there trying to do as a team, you just won't play. Just like Solich said on my recruiting day. He told me, we're sitting across, he's like, "We're going to offer you a scholarship." And he says this, and he goes, "But I can't guarantee you'll ever touch the field." And like Michael Jordan said, I took that personal, and that's why I went to Nebraska.
Well,
like everything you said makes sense. I mean, with social media, and I've said it, they have so many outside influences on what to think of themselves that it can alter how they play. But then I go back to myself, our era. Honestly, I can say I've never read the newspaper, Lincoln Journal-Star, outside of the other stuff in Daily Nebraska and the miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah.
I never read a sports article while I was there. If they sent one to my dad, I would see it when I came home. "Did you see this?" And I would say, "No, I didn't even know that was in there." So I stayed away from all of that. And if you hear, but they immerse themselves in the social media thing because it's the branding, and it's this, "Look at me. Look, I went on a recruit trip. These are my top 5. These are my top 10s. All that stuff I see on Twitter is just so damn obnoxious to me. Yes. I don't care who's your top 10. I don't care that they offered you a scholarship. Just handle your business. Sign who you're going to sign with it, going about your business."
Yeah. So how about this?
They want it. They want the attention. So if you're going to put it out there,
you got it.
You're with the heat that's coming.
You're going to get all the smoke. How about this? The recruits that come in, this irks me, and I complained about it once in a group, and then I got shunned.
The jerseys, putting on uniforms?
They put on our uniforms. They put on the N. I earned my N through the scout team. Scout team didn't wear N's back in the days. So these dudes prancing around on Memorial Stadium, and they might not even come here, and they're wearing the full-on uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a ball spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That drives me absolutely mad. I'm glad I was able to get that out here.
Pisses me off.
Yeah. Because, and I understand, we're in the age of social media. Like I said, we had what we had. Now they had, and so Nebraska has to play that game in the recruiting game. Yeah. To be honest, I really want Nebraska to start winning a lot more games, so we don't have to play the social media game. So we don't have to tell players, "Hey, come, we need you." Or it's like, "No, we don't need you, but you got a scholarship if you want to come play for the best team."
Right.
Stuff like that.
Old school. Yeah. I mean, pisses me off too. It goes back to Dan talking about North Stadium.
Yeah, remember those days?
People don't know. If you don't know, fans listening, I'm going to say this. When you were in the North Stadium, you had to earn your right to go to the South Stadium. And during my tenure, and I hope it continued, but there was some that broke that, which we got on the coaches about, Coach Solich about. We said, hey, unacceptable. That when my senior year, they started letting a couple guys that were going to play next year, the Gross and some of these guys, be in the varsity locker room. That was a hell no. When I was a freshman, they didn't even want to catch your ass walking through it. You walk through here, we're going to get you. But you were in the North Stadium with the military style toilets all lined up, that when you were in the shower, when someone was getting ready to flush the toilet or turn on their shower, they said heads up and you step back because you were going to get frozen a skull. That's what you dealt with. That's what it was.
Because
so
of
when
that,
you got to the other locker room,
the dorms.
Yeah. Because of that, when you got to the other locker room, you was like, this is the luxury suites.
It was.
Shower.
I totally agree.
The carpet, not the concrete. I'm not about to slip in my grass cleats in here on the bench getting dressed, walking down the steps gingerly to go to the grass in this with the old turf in there. I think whoever played 1930 practice on there, it was horrible. It was the worst thing going. But you know, it was like, I'm on scout team. I'm down here getting beat up. I'm down here going at these guys. I'm working on what I'm working on. I'm working to get over there.
Yep, I totally agree.
So your mentality and your mindset was different. By the time you got over there, you didn't want to be down there. You didn't want to get frozen in the shower. You didn't want to get scalded. You didn't want to
completely agree.
Sit to your buddy and say, hey, man, pass me that roll of tissue because I'm out of here. You know, I mean, it's just
looking the dude in the eyes.
Yeah, hey, buddy, how are you?
All right, we got about 5 minutes left. I want to bring up two players on the defense that really looked great yesterday. I want your guys' opinions. Honestly, me and Kenny, we've talked about him all season long. JoJo Doman
played well, exceptionally well.
Amazing.
It's been a minute, guys. So tell
number
me what
13.
Number 13.
Yep.
Great interception on the sideline. I mean, you talk about toe tapping.
That was amazing.
That is as close to toe tapping as you can get and still be in bounds. That would have been good on Sunday as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
he had both in. And then, of course, Cam Taylor-Britt. The play he made coming across the field wasn't even his guy. And leaping, it looked like 12, 15 feet in the damn air and knocking that pass away. And then he got upset at himself because he thought he could have picked it off. So Cam Taylor-Britt,
coaches tell you, be an athlete, and he did exactly that. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, this is insane. These guys are balling out of their minds. Absolutely out of their minds. Straight up hats off to those guys.
They all played
really
well.
Enjoyed it. Yeah. The defensive line has number 44. And forgive me for not knowing, guys. It's been a while since I've been back in the game. He has a great motor, and I watched him work against number 79, who looked like the Great Wall of China. And I was like, man, that dude's that's a rough day to go against. But he got him on an inside move. I was like, that a boy. Like, I was screaming. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I was waiting for him to get up.
A former O lineman cheering for a D lineman. I love that.
Bookmark it, pin it.
Yeah. He was opening up his hips. And this is just what I was observing from that right tackle is they were wide. They're lining up really wide nine, like way out there. I'm like, you're gonna give this monster time to sit back and then get set. Get in this dude's face immediately and get under him, because I'm sure if he's stepping back his little short choppy steps, what he's doing, he might not have been able to get to block that. But as soon as he went under, I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. Get that tackle. Make that dude work. He's not just going to stand here and have a superior game. Make that dude work for what all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Well, guys, we'll go ahead and close it out here. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, about 2.5 minutes left. So this is where, Dan, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media and whatnot?
All right. Let's see. Probably the best place to find me is Instagram. It's basically Dan Veely Waldrop. Search me there. I don't even know Big Dan Waldrop is my Instagram handle at Big Dan Waldrop. Right now, I own my own marketing agency, and it's going very well. And I'm just enjoying life, man. Out there in Los Angeles, getting ready to move to Dallas. So I'll be closer. I'll be closer here, so I can get up to those sidelines and enjoy the Huskers, because we're on our way up, guys. To be honest, I'm excited.
Yes,
this is going to be fun.
Kenny, as usual, where can we find you, Mr. Husker Noop?
Oh, at Husker Noop, HUSKERNUPE 1911 at Instagram and at Twitter.
All right, guys, you know the deal here. You can find me at Knutson_Brian on Twitter. Find me on Facebook at Brian Knutson, or you can find me on Instagram at the Spinoff Pod. And of course, you got to look for our Facebook page, the Scarlet and Cream Husker Podcast Facebook page. Give us a like. Just support us, for God's sake. That's all we're asking. And then, of course, I can't believe I forget this every time, but find us on YouTube. That's where we're at exclusively right now, because I'm done editing audio crap. I'm
it's
done
a big hassle.
Yeah, I like doing the videos. It's a lot easier. It's a lot cleaner. So find us on YouTube, the Scarlet and the Cream Husker Podcast. So everybody, from myself, Brian Knutson, Mr. B, Mr. KC, Kenny Cheatham, and our special guest today, former Husker offensive lineman, Mr. Dan Waldrop, D-Dub. Man.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys just giving me the time. It's an honor, to be honest.
It was our honor to have you on.
Oh, yeah,
really
man.
Appreciate you getting back to me and agreeing to do the show. It was awesome to have you on, man. And welcome back to Lincoln, dude.
Thank you. It was an amazing welcome. Hit me up again if you need me on the podcast again. I'll talk all day now. So we're back in the game, guys. Let's go.
All right, everybody, you know the deal. Find us at the Scarlet Cream. And as always, go Big Red.